It's the Church of Jesus Christ. So it is my honor, distinct honor tonight, to present the 2023 Distinguished Christian Statesman of the Year Award to the Honorable Tim Scott from the great state of South Carolina. Senator Scott, before you address the audience tonight, a few of your colleagues would like to offer their congratulations as well.
I'm John Barrasso, U.S. Senator from Wyoming, and I am a big admirer of Tim Scott. Tim lives his faith. His faith is strong in good times, and it's even stronger in hard times. Now, of course, he credits his success to the grace of God and to his mother's determination. The Bible is his guide. The Bible contains stories of examples, do this, and warnings, don't do that. It is a book of behold and beware. And Tim Scott's life is a story of behold. America is a better place because of Tim's exemplary life and his principled leadership. Tim, you continue to be an inspiration to all of us. Thank you and congratulations.
What a privilege to speak about Tim Scott, receiving the Distinguished Christian Statesman Award. Tim is always aware that he is an ambassador for Christ, whether in legislation, in service to his constituent, or in his speaking to our better angels. We thank Tim for his service, and he richly deserves this award.
Hi, I'm Senator John Thune. Congratulations to my dear friend, Senator Tim Scott, on receiving the Distinguished Christian Statesman Award from the Center for Christian Statesmanship. Tim is a steadfast, principled leader, and he's a statesman who truly embodies exceptional faith and virtue, along with displaying an excellence in public service. Again, congratulations, Tim, and God bless.
Tim, congratulations on your well-deserved award. The Center for Christian Statesmanship couldn't pick a better man to honor for his faith and dedication to serving others. I've seen firsthand how tirelessly Tim works to alleviate the burdens of poverty and to bring equal opportunity to every American. He embodies the spirit of Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Tim, you uplift your colleagues and all Americans with your passion for service and persistent good cheer. You are one of those happy warriors of American politics. So congratulations for this outstanding award.
Hi, Senator Steve Daines here. Greetings from Montana, and thank you for inviting me to say a few words about my very good friend, a great American and devoted follower of Christ, and that's Senator Tim Scott. Senator Scott's service, his testimony, his values, they serve as an inspiration to his colleagues in the U.S. Senate and to Americans everywhere, and especially now, as some seek to change and even attack the Christian values and the truths that we hold so dear. Tim, your leadership that's grounded in faith, in your family, and service to others exemplifies Christian statesmanship.
That's awesome. Wow. That's all I can say. Let me take this off here if you guys don't mind here. See if I can pull this off here. You know, I'm a Southern black preacher in heart, so I've got to get down here with y'all. You know, one of the things I was thinking about while I was listening to the video was the importance of James 4:10. That as you exalt yourself, God will humble you. But if you can humble yourself, then God can exalt you. And after hearing all those accolades, it's really important to remind oneself that it's all to the glory of God. That I am at my best when I'm aware of my weaknesses. Because when I am weak, he is strong. And perhaps the person who deserves more of the praise and the honor of this wonderful award that's being bestowed on me is my mother and, frankly, my grandfather. My grandfather, born in 1921 in a small town called Sally, South Carolina, in the segregated South, understood and experienced the indignities of a racist America. When he was a kid, he had to get off the sidewalks to let white folks walk by. And when my parents divorced when I was 7 years old, and we moved into my grandparents' house, my grandfather, with every reason to be bitter and negative and just ugly, he looked me in my eyes and told me one of the most powerful things I had ever heard, and still to this day. He said, "You can get bitter or you can get better, but you can't be both." He taught me that having faith in God, having faith in yourself, and having faith in what America would one day be is reason enough to dig deep. My mother grew up in that same segregated South, and she taught me that you can be a victim or you can be victorious. And she chose it for us. She chose victorious. And by the time I was born, America had evolved so far that we should stop and thank the Lord that we live in this America. The America where every kid from any zip code can rise beyond their circumstances and achieve their version of the American dream. And that is possible because our founding fathers crafted a country based on a rock, the Word of God. And upon that Judeo-Christian truth, they started weaving together our country. And if you have a truth, I know that in 2023 there's this new concept called your truth and my truth. That's called a lie. It ain't true. John 8:31 reminds us that 8:32 says, "You shall know the truth and it will set you free." But 31 is really important because it reminds us to abide in His Word. And as we do so, then you will know the truth and it can set you free. Having a nation founded upon that Judeo-Christian ethos, truth, allowed us to create an objective standard. That is really important because once you have an objective standard that is applied fairly and equally to all Americans, you can then start building the rule of law. And without the rule of law, our country descends into chaos. Just look around the country today. But I'll go back to where I started, which was my grandfather and my mother, and I will say that I have that spiritual heritage that is reminiscent of 2 Timothy when he talks about his spiritual heritage in the first chapter, first couple verses of Lois and Eunice, his mother and his grandmother. My mother and my grandmother really were the matriarchs of our family spiritually. How many of y'all have wonderful kids? Just thank God for your kids. I was not one of your kids. I was the opposite of a wonderful kid. My brother was a wonderful kid. I was not that kid. I was the kid that was rambunctious and always getting in a little trouble. I thought the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And when I went to college on a small football scholarship, I went to an FCA meeting, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. A guy named John Rickenbacker, we call him JR. He was a linebacker on my football team. He led the FCA. And one day, 3 days from now, he gave the altar call. And I walked down and accepted Jesus Christ to be the Lord of my life. And I will be 40 years old in 3 days. Now, today's my 58th birthday, but spiritually, I will be 40 in 3 days. Here's the importance of that part. 40 years ago in 3 days, I realized that football was not my life and Jesus was not a game. I found the Father I was looking for all my life. And I started reading the gospel to understand what he said about me, so that I could go forward and live a life consistent with my heritage. We all know that Galatians 3:28 reminds us that we are all adopted into the same family. And as members of that same family, and frankly, as an adopted son of the Most High King, I should aspire to be all that the Word of God said that I could be. In this world, we will have trouble, but be of good cheer. John 10:10, the thief comes to kill and steal and destroy. But he is come that we might have life and have it abundantly. The game ain't over until he says it's over. God bless you.